Most marriage counselors agree that communication can make or break a relationship. And if you and your spouse don't communicate effectively, you're both likely to experience frustration, anger, and resentment. Now, on the other hand, couples who communicate well often experience fulfilled relationships, empathy, and true intimacy with their spouses. So effective communication in marriage, it's perhaps the single most important aspect of the success of your relationship. And with it, you can edify your spouse and grow in your relationship in ways that are not otherwise possible. Now, learning to communicate effectively with your spouse, it can make your marriage a truly beautiful union. And although communication won't solve every marital problem that you have, it'll help you steer clear of many of them. So firstly, say what you mean and mean what you say. Sometimes married people expect their spouses to become mind readers, as a way to prove their true love and devotion. So not only is this a completely unreasonable request, it's one that will certainly lead to major problems. And if you're expecting your spouse to read your mind and meet your needs without error, you're setting your spouse up for failure and yourself up for disappointment. So check out some of these examples and see if you can relate. You want your spouse to help out with more household chores. To make your desires known to your spouse, you begin to make vague comments to them about the state of the house when you get home. You may even make drastic comments such as, "I'll have to quit my job to keep up with this housework since it seems to be all up to me." Instead of hinting about the mess you come home or threatening to quit your job to take care of the house, sit down with your spouse and just explain what you want and offer a practical solution and listen to their ideas and state your needs directly without accusations. Practice kindness as if your marriage depended on it. And the truth is, your marriage does depend on kindness. Many married people, they find themselves lashing out at the people they love the most. And couples who spend every day together tend to grow very comfortable with one another, and sometimes to the point where they lose common courtesy. And this is normal. How strange is it for us to be polite to perfect strangers and rude to our own spouses? Check out this example and see if you can relate. Your spouse calls in the middle of your workday when you're extremely busy, and you see your spouse's number pop up on your phone, and you maybe roll your eyes before answering. When you answer, you say a terse "what?" Your spouse reacts with equal annoyance, and you go home to an inevitable fight. So instead of saving the contempt of the day to unload on your spouse, save your kindest comments for your spouse. And answer the phone pleasantly. Show your spouse that you're glad that they think of you. They think of you and to call you and want to hear your voice. And in fact, tell your spouse just that. When you're unkind to your spouse, all messages become distorted and communication becomes derailed. I want you to exchange competition for communication. Couples who compete for dominance or superiority, they end up in a complete communication breakdown. When the goal of communication becomes winning, both partners end up losing. Competition takes the focus off the we and puts it on me. Marriage is supposed to be about two people becoming one. And they pull apart when they're competing for their own individual goals, being right or putting down their spouse. In order to avoid this trap, do not use you statements more than use I statements when bringing up areas of conflict. You statements tend to place blame and provoke defensive responses. I statements take responsibility for feelings and actions. All marriages have conflict. It's those who learn to fight fair who make it through the rough times with their relationship intact. Effective communication in marriage, it doesn't happen overnight. However, it's a daily choice, and learning to understand your spouse and their emotional language is far more important than trying to force your own opinions and thoughts. When you listen to your spouse will be more willing to listen to you. So start improving communication in your marriage today. If you're watching this video, you're likely seeking a way to communicate more effectively with your spouse. Every relationship has struggles with this issue at one time or another. It's completely normal. But effective communication, it requires a purposeful daily action that gives each spouse the opportunity to be heard and valued. And if you're really ready to start improving your communication with your spouse right now, I want you to watch my free video at mindyourmarriage.com, and it's available immediately. And there you'll receive important tips on how to strengthen your marriage and communication effectively. And you're going to love the advanced approaches outlined there to help you and your partner discover ways to love each other more and more every day. So check it out right now at mindyourmarriage.com. I'll see you there. Take care. Bye-bye.